When you're in pain, do you have the energy to smile and make everybody else around you feel comfortable when it feels like your entire body is on fire?
My wife is just gonna suck all the money out that I have.
Then after the workout, you go out into the hot sun, take off all your clothes, and lay out fully nude without sunscreen until your entire body gets sunburnt and your skin is peeling. And then after that, you throw on whatever scratchy, itchy clothes that you have laying around, and then you go into the city for 3 too many drinks, and now it's the next morning. 21-year-old Peter Keller was the dad of the family, and he was quite a reserved guy. He was really introverted, but there was no ominous undertone to it. It was less of, he's so quiet, he must be hiding something, but more so of the, oh, I bet this guy is just shy. That was the impression that everybody had of him. But he did have a strong obsession with guns. I don't know how much of that translated to the outside world, like if he went around telling people about his passion for firearms or not. And this might be a controversial take, but I think that when you have someone who is quieter, reserved, almost secretive, that type of person, their partners make them feel a lot more likable to a degree. And for Peter, that's his wife, Lynette. She's the likable one in the relationship. Lynette was working on building up her own scrapbooking business. She would sit there and painstakingly fold these paper flowers that she would haul to the local fair to sell them. She would also make these really cute scrapbooking kits and put them up on her online shop to make money. And yeah, okay, I'm sure a huge part of it is she genuinely enjoys creating something with her own hands, and maybe that process is comforting for her. But the other part of it, she just wanted to contribute to the family finances again. A while back, Lynette had been in a workplace injury where she hurt her back. I don't think that she received much workers' compensation, if any. I wasn't able to verify it, but don't quote me on it. I do think that she did receive state disability payments, which on average is like $1,400. So I don't know if Lynette was getting $1,400 and how consistently it was, but she was in chronic pain ever since that incident. She was unable to work anymore, and she felt really bad that Peter was the sole breadwinner, and she just wanted to contribute. That's it. It was really hard for people to not like Lynette. I mean, chronic pain, it makes it hard for people to consistently and constantly be positive and happy. We know someone who has chronic pain, and it's not a pretty daily routine that they go through. They don't have like this sunshine and rainbows day. When you're in pain, do you have the energy to smile and make everybody else around you feel comfortable when it feels like your entire body is on fire? Someone with chronic pain describes it as, envision last night you do a full body workout that hurts so much, all the muscles are aching. Then after the workout, you go out into the hot sun, take off all your clothes, and lay out fully nude without sunscreen until your entire body gets sunburnt and your skin is peeling. And then after that, you throw on whatever scratchy, itchy clothes that you have laying around, and then you go into the city for 3 too many drinks, and now it's the next morning. They said that's what waking up with chronic pain feels like every single morning, even if you go to sleep at 7 p.m. the night before. It hurts to move anything. If anything touches your skin, it hurts. You have a massive headache. You want to throw up. That happens every single day, and it's almost impossible to stay positive and happy all the time. I mean, how can you when it feels like life is playing a joke on you? So that's how Lynette felt, and not a single person would have blamed her for not being sunshine and rainbows every single day, but Lynette was the type of person that you wish you had known sooner. Even when Lynette and Peter's 18-year-old daughter, Kayleen, was graduating from high school, Peter was taking a video of her at her graduation, and you can tell which parent brings Kayleen out of her shell. Peter asks, "So how do you feel, Kayleen?" And she just kind of shrugs. Lynette is in the background screaming excitedly, "No more high school, yay!" "I feel pretty good." Peter asks if she feels different, and she just kind of shakes her head no. But when Lynette asks, she's like, "You don't feel different?" She shrugs and says, "I guess." And Lynette excitedly shouts, "You got a new life ahead of you. No more freaking school. Well, high school." Peter says, "Yeah, you got till tomorrow to get your stuff and get out of the house." And Lynette shuts him down. Oh no, she's living with us forever. Sorry, Carson. So that's Kaylin's boyfriend. And she says, forever.
So how do you feel, Kayleen?
No more high school, yay!
Feel different? No?
You don't feel different? You got a new life ahead of you. No more freaking school. Well, high school.
Yeah, you got till tomorrow to get your stuff out of the house. So.
No, she's staying with us forever. Sorry, Carson.
So Peter just loves to vlog, is that why?
It seems like the whole family had an interest in videos. Yeah.
So they documented everything.
Lynette would also vlog her scrapbooking journey. And not, like I said, not a single person would have blamed her for being frustrated with her life and her inability to work or her back injury, but she was grateful for every single thing.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Are these videos posted on YouTube? Or?
So here's the crazy thing. It is posted by, it's not one person, I think it's a whole team of people called Explore With Us. They do true crime documentaries. I'm not sure how they got the footage. I wonder if it was an FOIA request. So they are the only ones I've seen with this footage.
So they record it, but they don't post on YouTube or anything. It's for their personal record.
I think it was taken down if it was posted. Yes. Now, the police did release like a 10-minute video of Peter's vlogs in the woods. Yes, but the videos of Lynette, I haven't been able to see them anywhere else. Lynette just wanted to give back to her caring husband. I mean, she looked for every avenue for herself to make money. She tried selling the paper flowers at the market, like I was telling you. She put up the scrapbooking kits. She even tried vlogging to see if maybe she could promote her business and bring in ad revenue. Even though she's not working and earning money for the family, I mean, at least she's constantly trying. She said in a vlog where she's sitting in her scrapbooking room, "My husband a few months ago went out and bought me this big recliner for my back, and I'm just now starting to use it, and he's so happy. Usually I sit on the love seat. I love this chair though. You know, he's here, he's supporting me, he takes care of me even though I can't go back to work and I'm home and I'm in pain all the time. He gave me my scrapbooking room, my dream come true." So even for her wedding anniversary with Peter, she didn't ask for some grand materialistic thing or something to indulge in, which again, nobody would have judged her if she had, but she just asked for ribbons. Ribbons for her scrapbooking business, to hopefully bring in more money to the family. She said about Peter, he's a great guy. Some guys, you know, they just kind of leave when you get that, you know, it's part of your vows, but anyway, I don't want to get into all of that.
He's a great guy. You know, he stuck around with me. I'm, you know, some guys are kind of leave when you get that, you know, it's part of your vows. But anyways, I don't want to get on to that.
She would vlog about how thoughtful Peter was. I mean, it was in every little action that he did. She said, "Sorry, my dog is being crazy right now. My husband is probably chasing him around the living room. I know, my husband spoils me. He hates seeing me in pain, so tonight he came home and gave me another $20 because he knows I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow and he just wants me to stop by Michael's and get some more stuff." In another video, Lynette said, "My husband's great. He's very respectful to me. He spoils me. He takes care of me."
I know, my husband spoils me. He hates seeing me in pain, so tonight he came home and he gave me another $20 because he knows I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow and he wants me to stop at Michael's and get some more stuff.
Peter worked refurbishing computers, and it's reported that he was a computer engineer, and it does seem like he made a pretty good living. Lynette told her family that Peter was great with his finances, and she believed that when they retire, they were set up to be millionaires. Not that Lynette had any plans to like start blowing any of this money or spending like crazy. She just really wanted a few ribbons and ink from Michael's here and there. And she was so grateful. She was not with Peter for the money. She worked really hard to contribute to her family in other ways, given her circumstances, which is so admirable. And then Kayleen, their daughter, their only child, she graduated high school and she was on track to start at Bellevue College in the fall. She was interested in environment protection, in gaming, in videos, camera equipment, which I'm sure everyone always told Peter he was so lucky to have a daughter that was interested in the same thing that he was interested in. Like, it's just another added layer of connection to have with your kid, something to bond over, like this shared passion. It's pretty rare. They would even joke around together. Like, they had the typical dad and daughter humor. Kayleen would vlog her dad sitting on the couch, and he would just look at her and bluntly ask, "Are you gonna take a picture of me and sell me on eBay?"
Can you take a picture of me and sell me on eBay?
It's like a solid dad joke. Friends of the Kellers said Kayleen had a special bond with her dad. Kaylin's uncle said, we'd go there for the holidays, and it was like every father and daughter relationship. She would look at her dad and say, "Daddy, can I have this?" And he would say, "Sure." Like, she was, in her own way, Daddy's little girl. Perhaps Peter would want to go to the ends of the earth to protect his family from the outside world and make sure that nothing happens to them in the event of a catastrophic end for the world. Maybe that's why he built the bunker. There was only one problem with that, though. He only had room for one.
What?
The Kellers clearly were not the perfect family, but all of their friends and family were under the impression that they were pushing through the hard times. Life was going to give them a big break soon, but Peter was over it.
I just feel like I'm getting knocked back financially. My wife is just gonna suck all the money out that I have.
Peter turns on the camera and it feels like he's expecting us to watch his videos. He does retakes to make sure that the message comes across exactly the way that he wants it to. All we can see is his face and the trees behind him. We can't even pinpoint where in the woods he is. It's almost pointed towards the sky and it's like placed near his chest going up, and he just looks crazed. He says,
Well, it's about 2 weeks before the end. This is going to be my last video till after that. That's terrible.
Ugh, that's terrible. He puts the camera down and he tries again.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before I finally drop out of society and start this project.
He puts the camera down. 2 weeks before I finally drop out of society. He doesn't like the wording of that. So he puts the camera down and he starts again.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before we finally drop out of society and fully commit to this.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before we finally drop out of society and fully commit to this. Very interesting, the switch here of him saying I and then changing it to we. It's just weird.
We meaning who though?
Just him. Yeah.
But he changed it for a reason.
Yeah. He continues.
I just wanted to get one last video in before that time. So far, I'm come to terms with it, doing okay. It's starting to accept it. Doesn't really freak me out anymore like it did sometimes.
It's clear that he's preparing for something. He cryptically vlogs. Finally, I have to do what I have to do and get it out of the way. At this point, I don't know what's gonna happen. I may get caught right away. Basically, if I get caught, I'm just gonna shoot myself. I could basically be dead in 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point. I don't think anyone knows where I'm at. But if they put it together, who knows? At this point, I had to take that chance. So it's just gonna be a point of go as far as I can. I do have my escape, and that's death. I can always shoot myself, and I'm okay with that.
At this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I may get caught right away. Basically, if I get caught, I'm just going to shoot myself. So, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point. I do have my escape, and that's death. I can always shoot myself. And I'm okay with that.
We don't know exactly when Peter decided to kill his wife and only child, but we do know that he had been planning the construction of the bunker since 2003. For the past 8 years, he had been sketching, tweaking, building his bunker. Peter's friends and family did say that he was developing a bit of a, quote, doomsday attitude. They said they would feel comfortable calling him a survivalist. A survivalist with a distaste for authority is how exactly they described him. Side note, from what I can tell, survivalists and preppers are different. And again, I could be wrong, because I also see a lot of people say the label of prepper is just a rebranding from survivalist because of the negative connotations. But others argue there is a stark difference. Netizens have stated, while both people have the goal of being prepared, preppers, if you will, they tend to focus on resource management and planning for unforeseeable scenarios to unfold. They will be the ones stockpiling food, water, medical supplies. For preppers, these things could be necessary if there's a natural disaster, social unrest, economic meltdowns, or a full cyber attack. Preppers believe in the power of preparation, and they come up with evacuation routes, communication methods, satellite phones in case things go down. They will learn how to purify water, they will focus on gaining basic knowledge for medical care, things of that nature. Whereas from what I can tell, survivalists, on the other hand, they tend to be more focused on survival. They want to learn how to start a fire without a match, build a shelter from natural materials, forage food from the wild, navigate without a compass. Typically, not all, but from what I can see online, survivalists tend to prepare for more apocalyptic scenarios. They prefer adaptability over a stocked pantry, and this is a huge generalization, but preppers seem like they prefer groups, or they prefer like-minded individuals. They think that if something were to happen, there is power in community and strength in numbers. Survivalists, from what I can see online, they tend to be more lone wolves. Most survivalists, maybe they just want to take their family or a friend or two. They want to get off the grid, far away from other people as possible. They want to find a resource-heavy area that people won't be settling into, and that's where they want to just station out, camp out until maybe the world goes back to normal. Obviously, there's going to be people who cross over, survivalists who have prepper traits, vice versa. But I would say in most SHTF hit the fan situations, a mixture of both would probably be optimal in terms of surviving. Peter Keller was a survivalist with a doomsday attitude. That's what they called him. So he's prepping for doomsday scenarios. Other preppers and other survivalists, they could be preparing for an earthquake that maybe would cut off water supply for 10 million people for a month. Maybe a few weeks. If there's another large-scale indefinite power outage, they're preparing for that. Or pandemic shortages, ice storms that keep them locked in for weeks. They call it prepping for Tuesday. Just prepping for an emergency. You just don't know when it's gonna hit. It's not the end of the world, it's just a big emergency. Like a massive hurricane that could be devastating. That's what they're preparing for. Doomsday prepping is prepping for a global catastrophic risk, which again, does not seem that inconceivable with the way things are going, so I'm not judging anyone. I don't think anything is inherently bizarre with wanting to prepare for the worst case scenarios. I think even the act of being proactive can give people a sense of easing that anxiety that they have, and I'm all for that. So obviously, the way that it unfolds in today's case is not representative of these groups of people. But beyond that, you would be surprised at how many people are preparing for something like this. I feel like back then, people had a very specific person in mind when they thought of survivalist. But even Reddit's co-founder and CEO, Steve Huffman, stated he got LASIK eye surgery because, quote, if the world ends, and not even if the world ends, but if we have trouble, getting contacts or glasses is going to be a huge pain in the ass. Without them, I'm fucked.